Saturday, December 3rd, 2016, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So I like to talk about the bigger picture today. I think in markets, people sometimes get caught up in very short-term moves. Of course, if you're a trader, you got to look at it. And even as a trader, I think you have to keep a look at the bigger picture. And that's why today I'm going to review all different kinds of currencies, stock market indices, bond market, and look at how all these different instruments or assets or currencies have been doing year to date. So let's start out with the currencies. And the reason why I like looking at currencies is that in the end of the day, the currency that you use in your country is the most important common denominator, because that's what you spend with. That's what you use to interact in the economy, to exchange goods and services. So I'm going to start out with the dollar index. For the American viewers. So I've used Bloomberg. This is courtesy of Bloomberg. So I've got the dollar index here, 1 year chart, and it closed at 100.77 yesterday on Friday, December 2nd. And as you can see, year-to-date return, 2.17%. Range 91.9 to 102.5. Of course, we are at the top, near the top of the range, but year to date, the dollar is up only 2%, 2.17%. There's been a lot of talk of how strong the dollar is, but looking at the bigger picture, actually, year to date, it's done all right, but it hasn't been stellar, I would say. So that's the dollar index. So now I'm going to look at cable or sterling for my UK viewers. Of course, sterling hasn't done as well. We've had a devaluation of the currency. Most people blame it on Brexit. I personally think it started already in 2014 when the pound was at 170. It's been coming down ever since. Maybe Brexit accelerated it a little bit, but so here's the pound, GBP USD on Bloomberg currency, and year to date down 13.62%. So yeah, the pound has devalued almost about 15%. As you can see, yesterday it was up over 1%, mainly on talk of Brexit negotiations being more soft and not hard Brexit. But I think the pound is going to continue to be volatile, and so that's the pound, down 13.62% year to date against the dollar. Let's have a look at the Aussie dollar. Got a lot of viewers in Australia as well. So Aussie dollar to the US dollar, here's the chart. Year to date return, 2.35%. So the Aussie dollar has done well against the dollar, the US dollar. So there's another fallacy that the dollar is really strong. Well, it's not strong against the Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar, one Aussie dollar buys you about 75 US cents. That's the Aussie dollar. Canadian dollar. A lot of my viewers from Canada as well. So here's the Canadian dollar, pretty much similar to the Aussie dollar. It buys 75 US cents. Buys a little more than the Australian dollar, but that's not the point I'm trying to make here. Well, look at year-to-date return, Canadian dollar, 4.12%. So all the focus on the dollar, US dollar being really strong. What about the Canadian dollar? So that's the Canadian dollar. What else have we got here? Well, I'm going to look at the, and a lot of people will say, oh, gold and silver are not currencies, but have a look at this. This is the price of gold in pounds, and Bloomberg considered considers it a currency. XAU, GBP, CUR, as you can see. Yeah, and we've had a sharp correction. It hasn't been pretty to look at it, but we're 925 pounds, the price of gold, 1 ounce of gold. Year to date, 28.43% return. So pretty good protection against the almost 15% devaluation against the dollar. So gold has acted well as a store of value for UK domiciled people, UK investors. Yes, this correction has been sharp, but I still think longer term it's still a good way to protect your wealth. So that's XAU GBP, up 28.43% year to date. I know the last month has been tough. We've come off from above 1,050. Let's have a look at silver in sterling. And Bloomberg considers it a currency. There you go, XAG GBP, 13 pounds and almost 15 cents, up 39.8% year to date. So, silver has protected investors even more, UK investors, against the devaluation of, their home national currency, the pound. So that's XAG GBP, or silver in sterling. So let's have a look at gold in US dollars, which is, as you can see, XAU USD, so currency. So we're up almost 11% year to date, the price of gold in dollars. So it has protected US investors. Of course, we have corrected, from above 1,300. So, but year to date, still doing quite well, up 11%. So let's look at the other currency here, which is silver, or XAG USD. Here's the chart from Bloomberg, up almost 21% year to date. So good performance by silver as well. Of course, we have corrected. I personally think the correction is almost over. The precious metals miners, the stocks seem to have bottomed and are doing quite well in the last week. So we'll have to wait and see, though. So that's silver. And also for UK, some UK viewers, currency usually that I don't look at too much is GBP EUR. So the pound, the euro, how many euros the pound buys. So you can see about 119. Year to date, the pound is down 12% against the euro. So just a little less than against the dollar. So the euro actually hasn't done that badly against the dollar, even though it's dropped recently, and we've got this referendum in Italy tomorrow, so a lot could happen to the euro. But yeah, the pound again devalued by 12% against the euro. I remember around just before the 2008 crisis, I think a pound would buy €1.60. So Brexit has just accelerated the devaluation of the pound. I don't really think it's the main cause, and I've said that in the past. So let's now move into other. Well, actually, let's look at the Bitcoin, and I've got here Bitcoin Trust. I know it's not the Bitcoin price, but it's a good proxy. I just wanted to get year-to-date numbers and use the Bloomberg charts. They're pretty good, these charts, and they give you the year-to-date return. So as you can see, Bitcoin Investment Trust, 122.15% return. So yeah, Bitcoin, the digital currency, has been the best performing currency you know, year to date. Not surprising. So now we'll move into the stock market and also the bond market. We've gone from the currencies. Now we'll go into, let's have a look at the Dow, which is the most famous, really, index. I've got the Dow here, INDU, industrial, on Bloomberg, 19,170. So year-to-date return, 10%. Yeah, we are at near all-time highs here. It was down 21 points yesterday. But against gold, for example, gold is up 10.96%. So gold is outperforming the Dow slightly this year. Of course, the Dow has done a lot, has outperformed gold a lot in the last month. So that's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's have a look at the S&P 500 index. So SPXIND on Bloomberg. 2191, it was up slightly yesterday. Year-to-date return 7.24%. So has underperformed the Dow and gold. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ, which is the CCMP, the composite index on Bloomberg. Year-to-date 4.96%. So and you can see there we've traded back below the all-time high there in the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ also underperforming the S&P, the Dow, and gold. Let's have a look at, for the UK viewers, excuse me, the FTSE or UKX index, FTSE 100 index, 6730. Excuse me, that's up 7.8% year to date. So, if you that has outperformed the NASDAQ, has underperformed the Dow, but you have to take into consideration that for U.S. investors, for example, that return would be negative because the pound has lost almost 15% against the dollar. So that's the FTSE has done fairly well, I guess, for UK investors, but not as well as the price of gold and sterling, which is up 28%. So gold has outperformed basically the FTSE by 20%. Let's have a look at the what have we got here now? Some of the mining stock indices. This is here the gold bugs index, or the HUY. I've got the market watch data here, and you can see that little chart. I've compared it to the Dow over the last year. Look how much better the HUY has done, against the Dow, year to date. So the Dow is that red line, and the HUY is the green line. So the HUY is up 65% year to date. So very good performance for the mining, the gold bugs index. And now we're going to look at the Philadelphia Gold and Silver Index, or the XAU index. And you can see here I've compared it to the Dow as well, outperforming the Dow. I know since the summer it's kind of underperformed, but it's still outperforming it quite a lot year to date. And the XAU index is up 81.6% year to date. So very good performance there for the gold and silver index. And what else? Oh, to wrap it up, I'm going to look at the Treasury ETF. The ticker is TLT. Preferably I'd like to have a look at the on-the-run 10-year Treasury, but I don't have access to that. So I've got this ETF is the second best thing really to look. And interest rates have risen quite a bit since this summer. And as you can see in this chart, that's the price of the bond, which has dropped quite a bit You know, we've been as high as 143.62 in the summer, and now we're at 119.6. Year to date, or the 1 year return is down 0.37%. Let's have a look here at year to date on the TLT. Bear with me. So TLT year to date is up 1.31%. So yeah, we're almost back to, you know, to where bond prices were about a year ago. They had rallied quite a bit going into the summer. So yeah, that's the bigger picture. I hope this helps. It's sometimes good to you know, step back and look at what's really happening, and not focus on the noise and all the commentators in the mainstream media. So what do I think is going to happen until the end of the year? I don't know. It's difficult to say. There's a lot of people calling for a top in the Dow, in the stock market. People like Jeff Gundlach and also Bill Gross. And these guys are, you know, multi-billionaire, very wise investors, but people don't get things right all the time. I guess the big thing that coming up is this referendum tomorrow in Italy. We'll have to see how the market reacts, you know, after that next week. And so that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Share it far and wide, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And if you'd like to donate, there's some links below in the description.